Welcome back to the Mr. McNugget Show. And, I had such a great time talking about all the many copies of 1978's classic Halloween that I decided I'm just going to go ahead and talk about my collection of each of the sequels as well and make a whole month series out of it. So here we are with 1981's Halloween 2. And yes, I do have multiple copies of just about every movie in the Halloween franchise because apparently I have a mental illness. So let's get into 1981's Halloween 2. I really, honestly love the first film so much. One of my favorite movies. I told you Back to the Future and Halloween are my favorite too. But in all honesty, I think I have watched Halloween 2 more than the original. So I also hold a very near and dear spot in my heart for this film. It's one that I enjoy to this day. I have already watched it once this season already, and I will probably watch it once or twice more before Halloween is here. But I do have multiple copies of this movie too, and again, kind of paired up with a fun little story about it as well. And right off the bat, it's because the first copy of it that I have is not actually a legitimate copy. It is a home video that I recorded off the television. See, because I saw this movie at my grandma's house for the first time, they were showing Halloween with Halloween 2 right behind it on some cable channel. And I watched the first one because I always watch it when it's on, but I can't remember if it was the TV version or not. But I will tell you that Halloween 2 came on right after, and it was not the TV version because I would have noticed. There's a TV version of Halloween 2, just like in Halloween 1, but they moved scenes around and added things and took things away in very different ways, and you would have noticed the TV version of Halloween 2 right away. So I watched those, and I loved the idea that we were following up right after the footsteps of the first film. I know some people don't like that so much, but as a child, that really kept my gears turning. I wanted more of that night, just like it said on the box, more of the night. He came home. So I don't know if I just got really lucky and was over at my grandma's house again, but this time I was watching Monster Vision in her middle bedroom where I spent a lot of time on the weekends. And I pretty much have on video cassette a humdinger of A Night with Joe Bob here. This is Wes Craven's New Nightmare and Halloween 2. And I don't know if you can see that or not. Regardless, you just take my word for it. And I just love that I have this cassette still. I have not watched anything off of this cassette in years and years and years, but having my handwriting on there and knowing that there are two great movies on there with Joe Bob hosting is just so cool to me. But this is the first that I have, and it's nice that I can look back and see. I probably need to dump this on a DVD or a thumb drive or something so that I have the old commercials and the old intros and outros and all of Joe Bob's stuff from these movies. But this is the first copy, unofficial or not, of Halloween 2. What I find interesting about this movie, this Halloween 2 collection that I have, is you'll find that Halloween 2 kind of got a rough ride because of the whole Universal thing, and they were doled out to Good Times Home Video, and Good Times really had a hard time showing you a good time. And I think a lot of movie aficionados remember the Good Times days. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is an abomination of a home video version. First off, I have this really garish kind of Art Deco looking font with the green behind it. And they took the best artwork in the series, in my opinion, and put lights shining out of the pumpkin skull's eyes. And it says, "The nightmare isn't over." And the green beam coming from behind the pumpkin, and it carries on around with the same weird font, green behind it. And they chose the image to put on the spine of this box as Michael's hand holding the funky curved scalpel he uses in the movie. Just odd choices all around. They have, a simple image on the back. Nothing really wrong here, but I want to draw your attention to something that I don't know if anybody else noticed, and I'm going to hold this back here because I'm not so sure that you can see this as well as I can. You might have to take my word for it. I can throw in a photograph of it as well. This is not starring Jamie Lee Curtis. This is starring Jaime Lee Curtis. Yes. Up here, the starring card on the top of the box has Jamie Lee Curtis's name spelled incorrectly, Jaime. And Donald Pleasance. Donald, you win the big night. Your name was spelled correctly. So, yeah, I remember this having kind of a graininess about it, even on VHS, that I kind of liked, just because it felt very 80s to me. I don't know why. Even at the time when it wasn't that old, it felt old, and somehow that's a good thing, I guess. I don't know. That's just how my brain sort of works sometimes. But nonetheless, I watched this a lot. I really watched this a lot. And then here's the one that I told you that I had from the video store that I worked in. It is the original box, but it is cut on the spine again. But it is glorious and beautiful. I love the stereo banding. Love the horror sticker. I just love it. I love that I have it. I'm so super happy that I have it. The MCA Video Cassette Incorporated, 70 Universal City Plaza, Universal City, California, 91608. Awesome. Love it. And again, they had to add a sticker in here that says R, so that you knew that it was rated R, because apparently that was not clear on the back. So this horror movie is in fact rated R. But again, the tape is still in here. Be kind, please rewind. Just fantastic that I have that, because there's just the collector's mental illness. I mean, I hate to say it. It's a part of me that I really love, but there is a component to it that's a little bit on the "are you okay" side, if you know what I mean. So Good Times strikes again. What can I say? This is Good Times DVD. It is, again, a terrible case. Terrible art. Has artwork from, or a still from the first film. And Donald Pleasance and Jamie Lee Curtis, or Jaime Lee Curtis, in the hospital scene at the very end when he gets his eyes shot out, and Ben Tramer meeting his doom on the front. An odd amalgamation of photographs that don't really belong together. Strange way to do things. And then on the back, correct me if I'm wrong, but this appears to be an image from Halloween 6. When he looks up into the red light, I believe it's in the hall sequence at the beginning when he's chasing Jamie Lloyd. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that looks like the Halloween 6 mask to me. It looks straight out of the movie Halloween 6. I would be very interested to know if I'm right. Yeah, they got Jamie Lee Curtis's name correct on the front. And Donald Pleasance, he still is spelled correctly, so that's good. And it's still The Nightmare Isn't Over. I don't know why they couldn't use the tagline that's on the original, but they did not. And so then I moved on to this, and this is, I really don't know who this release is from. Oh, it's a Universal release. Okay, so we're back on it again. This is the 30th anniversary edition, and it, again, is garishly ugly artwork on the front of this. Just terrible. I just don't know. I don't understand. This movie comes packed in with some of the best horror movie art, in my opinion, that exists, and they keep choosing strange things. You have a picture of, obviously, the Mask of the Shape, and then all of these little clustered, pieced together photographs from inside the film. You have Mrs. Elrod and Laurie and Jimmy and Laurie, and Dr. Loomis is in there, and then Michael walking down the hallway in the hospital. At least it's all from the right film, but it still just is not great. And it also it has exclusively this Terror in the Aisles bonus feature, which I really need to go back and watch again, but it's not on any of the other Blu-ray discs that are out there. Now, I will say, though, I went back again after getting the Blu-ray and bought a DVD, because this is all I could find of this first Scream Factory edition of Halloween 2. It has artwork on it by Nathan Thomas Milliner, which I have the pleasure of knowing him. He is a great dude, does some great artwork. I love that he has his artwork on the front of it, but I also love, too, that this Blu-ray has the reversible art. So I have, in all of its glory, the great artwork originally on the front. It still says "all new" on it, and it also has "from the people who brought you Halloween, more of the night he came home." That is the perfect tagline. It is more of the same night, and that was the night he came home. I love that. I love that this is a clear case. I think that's great. I think it looks really nice on these horror movies. I don't know why. Again, spine art has the artwork on it, which is great. It has all the special features that I'm sure you aficionados know out there from Scream Factory that we see on later releases as well. It also has the television special or the television version on the inside too. So you have a lot of options here. And also this is, again, reversible artwork. So the artwork that's on the slipcover is on the reverse side of the artwork on the actual case. So a lot of options. Again, a really, really great version of this movie, copy of this movie. I know it's on DVD and not on high def, but with that said, I do have, again, from the Scream Factory set, I have Halloween 2 in there, which includes all of the above things. So there it is. Halloween 2, 1981, featuring all your favorite characters for more of the night he came home. That's all for today. I'll see you shortly with Halloween 3, the night no one comes home.